but you don't have to rely on other people and their thoughts and opinions to lead you to certain decisions.
Well, welcome, ladies, to Spotlight Voices. My name is Natalia Nicholson. I am your host, and I was about to say this week, but at the moment, it's pretty much daily. I'm coming to you with our amazing speakers at the top 100 most powerful Black women summit. But today is not a speaker. I have actually got one of our co-hosts with us here today. So today is a special day. There are going to be 5 other co-hosts with me. Every single day, we are going to be coming to you from the 23rd of March to the 27th of March. There are going to be 20 masterclasses, keynotes, fireside chats, roundtables, tears, laughter, realness. Because this panel of women who are going to stand beside me, we're going to come to you every single day to present the summit to you. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Shai Boston, who is one of the co-hosts at the summit, who is crazy, if not crazier than me.
Wow, just putting my business in the streets.
To the stage. Oh, Shai, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Well, hello, everyone. It is nice to meet you. And yes, I'm Shai Boston, the owner of Shai Boston LLC. I'm a fractional trainer, communication, and neurodiversity coach. And I'm just happy to be here. Yeah, me and Natalia are like peas in a pod. So I'm sorry. I please accept my apologies in advance for whatever is about to happen today.
I like the disclaimer. So ladies, we're actually going to be in New York because we have got a media partner that has just elevated us to a whole new level. Okay. Our media partner is Irie Jam FM. So for those 5 days, we're actually going to be coming to you together. So today you've got us in split location. It's going to be a lot. You're going to have 5 days of us actually in person together in the studio while all the speakers are going to be streaming live with us. So think talk show, think morning show. It's just going to be really live. The engagement at the summit is really important. The summit's important to us because we wanted to create a platform for you where you could meet a bunch of speakers, counselors, therapists, mentors in your own women that are coming to speak, to teach. Okay, you're going to have an array of topics, anything from mindset to leadership, digitalization, AI, marketing, branding, finance, wealth, burnout, self-care, self-love, fitness. It's all in there. These are all the things that we go through as Black female entrepreneurs and career women who are ambitious and want to get to that next level in life. So now that Shai has introduced herself, I would like to ask Shai a series of questions just so you can get to know her better. And hopefully you could, well, you're not going to get to know her as good as I am, but okay. Maybe you will if you attend the summit. I was about to say the QR code's above me, but it's not at the moment. We'll get that sorted. Just literally. Right, Shai, let's start. Yes. When people hear your name, what do you want them to associate it with?
I give that question a lot of thought from time to time, just like what do I stand for and what I represent. For me, it means real talk, having real tools that people can use in order to continue to transform their lives, not just their professional development, their personal development. And I also wanted to be associated with empathy and relatability. I show up and try to be as positive and as authentic as I possibly am. I don't play games. Who you see is who I am all day, every day. But I'm also very empathetic. And so that's the way I coach. That's the way I train, just from my real life and experiences. So that's what I want my name to be associated with.
I absolutely love that. And you just triggered a memory for me, just to let you know. So another one of the co-hosts is a lady called Savannah. And as you know, Savannah does Clifton Strength Finder.
Yes.
And I remember the first time I did Clifton Strength Finder, Shai, I remember I was told, like, how old was I? I think I must have been about 24. So this is like a really long time ago. And I remember they told me my top strength was empathy. And I remember thinking, but why is it not like analytical? Like, why haven't I got one of the clever ones? Like, what? How come my top strength? Like, what does that even mean? But back then, you remember, I just like recently graduated. I didn't realize the power of being empathetic.
Yes.
And this is what I mean by us being two peas in a pod. It's just strange that you were like, that's a thing that you want to be remembered for. And it triggered that memory. And I was just like, I remember when they told me the second one was woo. I was like, what's woo? I was just like, that's even right.
You're like, all these
I sound very intelligent.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think sometimes we're surprised about what comes out of those different types of assessments. Yeah. And then in addition to that, who we really are. Like, we think that we present one way, or we think we're one way. And then you realize, oh, is this how people perceive me? Is this what I give off? You know, and sometimes those are things we work really hard at, being kind, being empathetic. And you think, God, I have so much more work to do. And people are like, oh my goodness, I remember when you did X, Y, and Z and how you helped me. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess the work I'm doing is paying off. Yeah. So yeah, I can see you being empathetic and woo. You have a certain vibe about you, babe.
But back then I was just like, I just didn't think it sounded very intelligent. Like, I wanted to be strategic. I wanted to be the analytical. I was so sure my number one was going to be analytical. But yeah, empathy. And now, you know, as an experienced marketer, empathy is one of the greatest gifts that you can have. So I love the fact for you that that's how it's one of the things you want to be remembered as.
Yes.
I know this one's going to be an interesting one for you. What is the moment that really shaped the woman you are today as a leader?
Oh. What is the moment? I'm sure that there are probably a couple of different instances, because I've always had powerful women in general. That I've learned from, those that I've liked and those that I haven't liked. But I think I knew I wanted to make sure that I was different. Several years ago, when I worked at the cruise line, I managed a cruise and land product, and we were a small division. And I had been at the company maybe 7 years at that point, when I became manager of this small division. And I was inheriting an employee that had been at the company some 22 years. And long story short, there was friction there because I was younger. I hadn't been there as long. And when I accepted the position, the first thing that I was told by the former manager and by the associate vice president was the employee was about to be put on a PIP, a performance improvement plan.
Yeah.
And it was my choice whether or not to put her on the plan and manage her out of the organization, or not put her on the plan and keep her if I thought I could manage her. And mind you, she was a very strong, opinionated woman, passionate. And I liked her a lot. I actually thought she was going to get the job. And I went to her like, hey, if you get this job, I'd gladly come and be your account executive. And then they reached out to me and offered me the position. And it caused some conflict with us as coworkers and stuff, like I said. That long story short. But I told them, I said, do you think I'm going to let 22 years of intellectual capital walk out this? And that's when I knew I was setting the precedent for the type of leader that I wanted to be. I respected her the time that she had put into the company. I respected who she was. And yes, she was a strong woman. I had to learn how to adjust my speech, my tone, and things like that, while still being true to myself and still speaking up for myself. But, you know, you learn to play that corporate game, so to speak. And I was like, I'm not getting rid of her. I'm not doing it. And I didn't.
I really love that. And for me, that shows your character. That shows who you are. It does. It takes a big person to understand, actually, there's talent there. there is someone that actually is going to contribute to the bigger picture. And the role that I'm in with the organization, we've all got different clogs and moving parts. That's for me, that takes a really big person. And there needs to be more people like that in corporates. Maybe it wouldn't be the way that it is. But yeah.
It was a humbling experience.
Yeah, I feel humbled even just listening to it. That's actually really, really powerful. And kind of is my segue into the next question for you.
Okay.
When you hear most powerful Black women, what does power actually mean to you?
So that's not something we're often asked as Black women, first of all. And so many of us have a hard time defining what power means for us, and how do we stand in our power. For me, I think of it as a metaphor. It's the ability to dance among the roses while embracing the thorns. And what I mean by that is there are so many beautiful things for us to learn. I'm a big learner, so I'm always talking about learning things, but there's so many things for us to learn, to expand not only our minds, to expand our creativity. There are so many things we contribute. The foundation, if you will, of pretty much everything related to creativity, related to the arts, created to moving technology and everything forward, has come from Black women, and Black people in general, or women of color. But so when I think of dancing among the roses, I think of how they're soft, they're gentle, they smell good, they come in a variety of colors, all these different things, the character that makes us up. But we also have to deal with so many thorns. And so part of us advancing and growing and developing is being able to dance in the beauty of who we are, while also being able to embrace the thorns that will stick us because of who we are. And if you can learn to do those two things and not be as hurt by the thorns as, sometimes they draw blood, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's a prick. It's going to hurt. We grow and we learn from it. But if you can learn that balance, and this is the only time I kind of use balance in the sense of that word of equal measure. If you can learn to do that, that's a power nobody can take from you, because you can walk into any room where they're throwing daggers at you with their eyes, and you can still command that space. You can walk into any room where you already have support and dance and shine and let other people dance and shine. That's walking among the roses while, accepting the thorns.
Okay, you poet, you. The analogy, though, is just real and touching, and it's just a beautiful way to describe us, and a beautiful way to actually just describe the whole journey of power and how you can stand in your power. Because again, I would probably say it's only as I got into my 40s, like Mary J, I like what I see. When I'm walking past the mirror, like, I like this version of me. Yes. I do.
Yes.
And I think
better than
one
50,
of the
trust me.
And I think one of the things that we often can struggle with as women, especially the younger versions of ourselves, and those who are watching that might feel like, hey, well, I'm in that younger bracket. There's always going to be a younger version of yourself. That's what I would say to you. Even as much as people who are older might talk about wisdom and when we were younger, you've always got a younger version of yourself that you would go to. That's just habit. But feedback can be a tough thing to take. It took me a long time to be able to really receive feedback as a way to make myself better and not hurt my feelings.
Yes.
And that comes with growth. And it just feels like that's one of your superpowers. It feels like, for me, like that is one of your superpowers that you learned pretty quickly early on, that's kind of made you the leader you are today, to have the impact that you have on your audience.
I appreciate that. So first, I'm learning to take commendation, and when it comes, I will accept those flowers. I will say this. My philosophy is there's a difference between feedback and criticism. Like people say constructive criticism. Criticism is not constructive. Criticism, in my opinion, is here's a problem you have. Now go figure it out and how to solve it. Feedback says and a lot of people don't like the sandwich effect, but I love it. Here's the things that you are doing so well. Here's an opportunity for growth. not a challenge, here's an opportunity for growth. And then when you continue that opportunity, here's other things you're doing well that's going to tie into that and take you to the next level. And so, yes, I was a very sensitive person. And, you know, when you grow up being bullied and all of that kind of stuff, and you're dealing with trauma, getting criticism, getting feedback hurts. I'm an empath. It hurts deeply. And I had to learn, and my mother, who's a very strong person and dealt with a whole lot in her life, as a Black woman in very white spaces, she was the one that really kind of helped me, along with some managers, to go, listen to what's being said, find the grain of truth in it, and hold on to that grain of truth and let the rest of it go. And you may have to come back and sweep through the rest of that at some point, because there's going to be still some truth to an extent in some of that. Some of it's not. We know that there are going to be some people that are coming after us just to come after us. That's not the stuff you want to hold on to. You want to hold on to what's valuable, that's going to help you to grow. And if I had disregarded a lot of the criticism, a lot of the feedback, I would not have been able to grow and to become a better person, as well as a better professional. So I keep that in mind when I'm working with people, when I'm coaching them, when I'm training, is I want to provide feedback that's going to allow you to connect and help you to continue to grow. But I'm not trying to provide anything or say it in a way that's going to break your spirit, that is going to keep you from feeling you forward, or that's going to keep you stuck in the mire. When I give you feedback, it's because I'm watering you like you're a gentle plant so that you can continue to grow.
Ooh, girl, I feel like I'm being coached on this podcast today.
Look, there's an interchange of encouragement when we do these things, right? That's why there's power in community. When we talk to each other and we stop gatekeeping. When we talk to each other and share.
And that's the one thing that we have in common. It's just like, it's about lifting one another up and just doing it freely, and because you want to do it, and being led from that place of empathy and love. Because what you put out is essentially what you get back. Love it. So this is what I mean. We've digressed from the questions, by the way. I knew this was going to happen in our podcast. Completely digress from the questions.
You know, we're gonna have to control ourselves in New York, right? Like,
I know. They'll be like, oh my God, the schedule's gone wrong. So ownership is what I want to go on to next. Like, what does ownership look like in your world right now?
So this was also another area where I had to grow into that space. Ownership to me now looks like making decisions without having to rely on other people, consulting other people that have more knowledge and that sort of a thing, or that might be in the same space you're in but have different lessons to learn. Oh, most definitely. But relying on them to make decisions for me, most definitely not. I woke up at 40. And I was waiting for this. My mom was like, you're going to have this shift at 40, and it's only going to be something that's going to be relevant to you. I literally woke up on the day that I turned 40, and I sat up in my bed and I was like, boom, you know what? I'm not living for anybody else. I'm happily married, but I was like, I don't have to keep not running to my husband, but I'm no longer living for him. He's no longer my entire world, so to speak. Not that I'm not doing it for my mom. I guess approval is better. I didn't need my mom's approval any longer. I didn't need my dad's approval any longer. I didn't need the approval of everyone, because I needed to be me. I needed to be free. When I woke up at 50, I took it a step further. And then I was like, I literally told my husband, I was like, you know what? There's a lot of things that I haven't said and how I felt about things, and I'm not going to do that anymore. And we had the most honest and frank conversation we probably had in a number of years for a variety of reasons. And everything is so much better. We're going on 25 years this year. So I'm super happy. So that was 2 years ago. I'll be 52 in a couple of weeks. So that was 2 years ago. And I've applied that. So going back to what ownership looks like, it is important to be accountable. It's important to be accountable for your decisions and your actions, but you don't have to rely on other people and their thoughts and opinions to lead you to certain decisions. When we're coaching, if you're being coached properly, the coach draws out the answers that are already in you. They don't tell you what to do. So if you have a coach that sits down and tells you what you're supposed to do, that's not a coach.
That's consulting.
That's a strategist or a consultant.
Yeah.
Right. And so I get people all the time. It's like, Shai, just tell me what. No, baby. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Here's some questions we're going to talk through and answer. You already know the answer. And so we as women, especially as Black women, as we mature and we go through different stages of life and we deal with different things, by the time we hit these milestones, 30, 40, 50, beyond, we instinctively know what we should be doing and how we should be doing it next. That's why so many women will say, I woke up at 40 and I felt a certain empowerment I hadn't felt before. If you hit that in your 30s, boo, good for you. But most of us hit it at 40. And then by the time you hit 50, you'd be like, I have zeros left to give.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting to that stage now. It's so funny. Shai, you made me think about my 40th. I did not have that experience.
Oh,
I did not. I remember getting up. This is no word of a lie. We went on a family holiday to Cuba. It's my 40th. I've always wanted to go to Cuba. I wake up on this beautiful resort. I've got my kids and my family with me. And I thought, I cannot believe that I've gotten up and I'm 40 and I'm breastfeeding. And then
girl, let me tell you something. So I know, okay, I know we're trying to do this family friendly, but let's just go and keep it real. So I went to a functional health specialist several years ago. I was having some health challenges. They were checking me out and she tested me in ways doctors had tested it. She got to this one thing and I forgot what it was called, but she was like, this is basically your hormones, your sex hormones and this and that. And I was like, oh, okay. And she goes, you need to know. I said, so what is this telling me? She's like, this basically tells us when you're going to probably hit menopause or premenopause. And I'm like, okay, good. When am I going to hit it? She said, probably around the time that you're 53. You need to be careful because you're the type of woman that will get pregnant on birth control. I cannot. I said, no, ma'am. I'm not going to be up in my 40s having no baby. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That is not me. Fortunately, biology took care of that for me, but I was just like, no, ma'am. So I can imagine
it was just a reflection moment. Yeah.
You're like, I love my baby, but I'm too. Why am I doing this?
I just felt like I got robbed of my reflection moment. It seemed like a good idea at the time that because I started at 35, I was going to knock out as many as I could. And obviously I got to 3, but I was kind of like, I'm here in Cuba. And then hang on, let me tell you the icing on the cake. So my sister, my best friend and my brother, because it was a big family holiday. So the hotel's got a family side and it's got an adults only side. They upgraded to the adults only side.
They did you.
And then we get champagne breakfast. Well, I was with a double buggy and a baby.
Getting orange juice and milk for breakfast. They did you dirty. They owe you a trip. You tell them I said they owe you a trip.
You know what? I'm going to make sure they actually watch this episode to know that I'm still carrying feelings 7 years later.
I have a really good therapist if you need one, but I'm just saying, but again, this goes back to, this is why we talk about ownership, because it's ownership of our bodies. You took ownership of your body. You made a decision you wanted to make. You wanted to have your babies and you were like, this is the right time. Now, granted, sometimes we make the decisions and we go, okay,
why did I do that?
I love this, but I didn't. This is what I had envisioned. Yeah. But you take accountability for it. Now you got 3 beautiful children and you love them dearly and you're happy. Others of us may make other decisions, but whatever it is, ownership is being able to make those decisions, stand in those decisions, be accountable for them, and go, I did it for me. As Sinatra said, I did it my way. I took all the advice, but I did it my way.
And I'm happy with it. I love that. I love that. I love that. Right. Before I get into another story that's going to take us off track. Next question. And I love this one for you. What is one narrative about Black women you are committed to changing through your work?
You challenging me today, girl. Okay.
Yep. I love this question for you, though.
For me, I want to change the narrative that we have to change who we are in order to communicate more effectively, to be heard, to be seen, and to be understood. We can be our authentic selves while leading and communicating effectively from every seat at the table. And what I mean by that is oftentimes we feel like we have to constantly code switch. Yes, that is generally how we're operating in this world, but we don't always have to. There's ways that we can say what we need to say and how we want to say it and be authentic. Sometimes we feel like we have to apologize for our thoughts and feelings. Sometimes we feel like we have to overly explain. One of my favorite lines from a song, which is I Am Loved by Jennifer Holliday. She starts by saying, if I talk too much, you see, I'm trying desperately to be understood. I think I love that too. And even though this is a love song to a man, I applied it to myself. That's my love song to myself. But I feel like we do a lot of that. And when you're neurodivergent, we automatically do a lot of that. So I want to change the narrative that Black women, whether you're neurotypical or neurodivergent, we don't have to change who we are to communicate effectively. Yeah. If I happen to pop off and call somebody sis in a meeting, well, you sis right now. But let me tell you something, you're going to get the point of what I'm saying and you're going to understand it. And I can use that vocabulary you want, or I can give it to you in regular layman's terms, whichever you prefer, but I don't have to change who I am at heart to convey that message.
Yeah. And that's something I think we struggle with as Black women. And I think this is a lovely segue into the next question. What do you think Black women deserve more of in rooms that make decisions?
That's another loaded one. So I'll try to keep it brief. We need more allies.
Yeah.
And I know that there are going to be some that might disagree with that feel like we should be able to stand on our own. And I completely agree with that. I'm 100% in thought with that yes, we should be able to stand on our own. But the reality is the way that systems are set up, we need allies. So allies look like those that are speaking our names and spreading our reputation in rooms that we are not currently in.
Yeah.
That means we have people that are mentoring us. Your mentor, as one of my colleagues I was talking to the other night says, your mentor doesn't have to even be somebody that you like and you're buddy with. Your mentor is there to help you learn the skills to continue to break down doors and barriers for yourself so you can stand within yourself, right? Your coach is the one that's going to help you to achieve your goals. So we need more of those in one person, multiple people inside the room, and we need that in our lives. Your personal board of directors is what I call them. Actually,
Michelle Obama calls it the kitchen table.
Yeah, we need them. And so I feel like in those spaces that we're not in, we need people to assist in creating those spaces. We shouldn't have to build the table. We shouldn't have to drag a chair. We shouldn't have to go out, buy the food, cook it up, and serve it. Why can't I just come in
and then it's eaten by someone else, which is why we just need to build our own tables in our own rooms.
There you go. But
yeah,
you know,
I get the point. Yeah. Allyship is key in any community or any room,
and not performative allyship.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. So this is again like this one for you. What is a challenge you face that people would never guess, and how did you move through it?
People don't expect me to be an introvert. I'm a natural introvert. I prefer being at home. I prefer a small group.
Yeah.
You can tell me to go stand in front of a room of 5,000 people and give a speech, and you can tell me you got 2 minutes to get up there and figure out what you're going to do, and you got to give a speech for 20 minutes, and I can do it. But if you tell me to go in that same room and go meet 5 people out of that 5,000, I am dying inside. My heart is leaping out my chest. So I have that level of anxiety, and I am a natural introvert. I can be on like I am now. Yeah, I guarantee you when we're done, I'm going to be like, whew, child, I'm glad that's over. So the way that I worked through it, I had a lot of good opportunities in my life. Number one, I will tell anyone, take speech courses, Toastmasters, any of those things that will force you to be in front of people to speak. Mine came from theater. So I was always in dance or acting growing up. So I learned how to shut off, to an extent, a part of myself to embody and embrace another side. So just like Beyonce says, she's got Sasha Fierce, and then there's Beyonce.
I was just thinking, we are so aligned. Just so you know, as you were saying it, I thought of Sasha Fierce, and I thought alter ego.
So Shai is kind of like my alter ego in a way. If you can do improv classes, go have fun and take some improv classes. It helps you to get out of your shell and learn to express yourself in a lot of different ways. I also had a lot of people I trusted that were willing to support me when I go to events. I have asked my friends at times, like, hey, would you mind sitting in the audience? One, it'll help me have a familiar face. Two, you can provide me good feedback. And three, I hope you learn something. That helps. When I go to networking events, I make it a goal that I'm personally going to meet a certain number of people, and I only carry that number of business cards.
I love that.
Which forces me to go, okay, you're not coming home with these business cards. So now if I've got 15 cards, you got to go meet 15 people. And then after that, if I happen to get in conversation and meet other people, or I'll ask, as I'm meeting people, if there's someone I vibe with, like if I had met you and I vibed with you, and I'd be like, hey, Natalia, so who else did you meet here that you think I should meet? Now I've got a wingman. So if I didn't bring a wingman, now I got a wingman.
Yeah. Yeah. Good advice as well. In that question is some good advice in there, ladies.
So those are some of the things that I've done to kind of work through that. And I've also embraced the fact that I am a natural introvert, and there's nothing wrong with that. There are spaces I've walked into and I was like, I'm just not feeling comfortable right now. And I guarantee you there's somebody else there. So the empath in me that can read a room, I then look for someone that's kind of similar like me.
Yeah.
And have a quiet conversation one-on-one.
Which is why we vibe. It is. Again, people are like, oh my God, Natalia, she's so confident, she's loud, she's articulate. But like you, I just want to be in my bonnet, my house coat. I want to stay at home. And I'm the most comfortable when I'm actually in my own head. I'm actually a bit of a so I totally get it. Right, we're going to wrap up today. This is a quick fire round. So I'm going to say a sentence and you're going to complete it.
Okay.
Yep. So, okay. Question number 1. My power increases when I
rest.
Ooh, I like that one. I'm taking that one. One belief Black women must release to rise faster is
that they have to do it alone.
Oh, do you know what's funny? That question keeps getting answered the same way in different variations. There's not been one person that's been with me at this summit. It's different words with the same meaning. That's powerful. We've got to make a reel out of that. Yeah. The last one is, one thing I want Black women to remember about their voice is.
is that when you know why the caged bird sings, you will sing as well.
Love it. And did you see the time Shai took to answer that? And that's authenticity. And that is vulnerability right there. Thank you for answering those questions. So, Shai, how can people connect with you? Where can they find you, and what can they look out? What can they expect at the summit as well, as a co-host and a keynote speaker?
So as a co-host, I think you already realized that my ADHD kicked in and I've got a weird sense of humor and it's just going to be wild. So the other thing too is you can reach me. I'm on Instagram at Shai Boston. I'm also on Threads at Shai Boston, Facebook at Shai Boston, on LinkedIn under my government name, Shai Boston. If you can, but you type in Shai, you'll find me. And what I'm bringing to the summit as a keynote is really helping us to understand how we can have effective conversations as leaders with our clients, our teams, and with others by keeping it neurodiverse. And what I mean by that is we can appeal to everyone, all different types of brains, have our messages communicated clearly and effectively in one shot in 60 seconds without having to do all the extra work and all of that. And that will also help us to drive more revenue. So come and learn how you can connect with everybody you interface with so that you can get your message across. You can close deals faster. You can generate more revenue, and your voice can and will be heard in the way that you want to convey it.
Woo! I love it. Right. Shai, that was an absolute pleasure. You know, this is the longest podcast out of any of them, don't you? And
oh, we're so in trouble.
It's so typical us. Like, you know, we're going to have to really stick to the programming when we're in New York. Because I can imagine the others just getting to it. So we're like, you sit over there and you sit over there. These two are separated.
And we're still going to be speaking across the room. That twin connection. No, but thank you for having me. You asked some really great thought-provoking questions, and I absolutely love it. So thank you.
It was a pleasure having you there. I cannot wait for the summit. The QR code is now above my head. Make sure that you click on it. Make sure you get your tickets. Make sure that you share. The summit's just going to be off the hook. It's a platform. It's a place that we are building. It's our table where we're going to build more tables, and we're going to take back our ownership as Black female entrepreneurs. Peace out, everybody. And it was great to have you here. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.